Days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's MaxFit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. MaxFit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to MaxFit Sports Nutrition now. MaxFit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
The locals love him.
You're gonna love this.
You are my favorite.
It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're back up and running on Facebook. The internet has been restored. You know how it is around here. All the construction, different things going on. You just never know when the internet's going to be working and not. But we are back up and running. We've got Laura Hanlon in studio with us. Jay Henley back in the house. The Swing Doc looking forward to his tip of the week tomorrow. But yeah, we got to get a poll question out there, and I'll go ahead and get it up while you're talking about it, Jay, because we couldn't do it in the first segment because it goes on our Facebook page, and I got to have internet for the Facebook page, so let's hear it.
I saw something over the weekend. It was Fox 13 down in Tampa Bay, but silent salons, talking about haircuts. You can actually book an appointment, get a haircut, and not talk to your hairdresser.
Interesting.
I've never heard of such. Is that crazy or what?
So is it like an option you choose, whether you want to talk or not?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So that's going to be our poll question. If you had a choice for a silent haircut, yes or no?
I mean, I know we just had some silence on the app there for a minute, but what if we had a silent show? What if we had a silent show?
Well, it wouldn't be a show then, would it?
No.
Would you take that personally if you were the hairdresser? Like, ooh, they don't.
Well, I think if you offer it, you can't. I mean, they still might.
Not.
They still might, but
see, I'm also the guy that sits in the haircut chair. I call it the haircut chair.
That's the official term,
right? And I listen to all the other conversations. So does that mean that I can't talk to maybe the dude getting a haircut next to me? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Because I like to do that.
There's probably some terms and conditions when it comes to booking.
The girl that does my hair, she's a friend of mine, so I think she'd take it.
I gotcha.
If I was like, Becky, don't talk to me today. that might not go over
She'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But I mean, and a lot of times, and I'm speaking in generalities here, but you've got a lot of people go to your hairstylist not just for a haircut, but sometimes it can be a little bit of a therapy session.
Sure, absolutely.
It almost seems like to be a little client hairstylist privilege there when it comes to what happens or what do you talk about in the hair salon stays in the hair salon.
Yeah. I mean,
because I know you're chatty when you get in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you ever been to a haircut with me, Brian?
I just know you're chatty.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
You're just a nice person, and you like to talk to people.
You can always judge some. Did I say judge?
You did.
Yeah, I did.
It's okay.
When my haircut lady, right? I can always kind of feel within about the first minute if she's like all into the chatting or if she just wants to cut hair. And so I kind of like go 50-50 on it, just to see. But yeah, silent haircut, that is on a trend right now.
Interesting.
Crazy.
I'm saying no.
I'm saying no too.
It would just be.
It would be very awkward.
It would be extremely awkward.
Wouldn't it though?
For myself,
right?
Yeah, I'm not going to enter into that.
I'm trying to get this
not
active.
participating.
I'm not as cool as David when he can do it so fast. He'll be here shortly, but we'll remember to get there. I'll figure it out here.
I think I'd have to concentrate too.
Yeah.
On not talking. Like,
yeah.
Do you get? What if you talk?
And get your hand slapped.
Yeah.
They
I feel like I wasn't talking to you.
Right.
Talking to myself. Just talking to myself. But yeah, getting back to Scotty Scheffler and everything going on with him. It does look like tomorrow that those charges are going to be dropped. As I mentioned before we dropped out of the last segment, what the police officer said versus what Scotty Scheffler and other witnesses said seem to be two different things. And I'll just read something real quick from golf.com on another eyewitness, which, was a gentleman riding with Jeff Darlington. They were on their way in. I think it was an on-air personality. But Darlington, though, wasn't the only eyewitness. His 4 commuting mates had also been at the scene, watching from the interior of the SUV. On Saturday, Wichusen, who has not publicly shared his version of what led to the arrest, spoke to golf.com on what he saw and heard. His account corroborates Darlington's, but Wichusen, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, also provided some new details. As Scheffler pulled up to the left of ESPN's vehicle, Wichusen said he and his ESPN colleagues could not see who was at the wheel. Moments later, a police officer kind of jumped in front of what the ESPN crew would later learn was a Lexus driven by Scheffler. He was pretty, enthusiastic, let's say, Wichusen said of the officer Gillis. Wichusen said Gillis beamed his flashlight up and down Scheffler's car and yelled at him in the words effect, "Whoa, whoa, 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 who are you? Where are you going? Get back in line. You're not allowed to come through here," which obviously we know is not the case. Wichusen said he couldn't hear any what Scheffler said to Gillis, but what Gillis was scolding Scheffler for passing the ESPN vehicle on the left. Wichusen said the officer and his colleagues were in yellow reflective jackets. It was unclear to him and his colleagues whether they were police or tournament security. After Scheffler and the officer's interaction, Wichusen said Scheffler began to pull away. As Darlington described it, at this point, Gillis attached himself to the car, and Gillis, whose body camera was not activated during the incident, described it as he was dragged to the ground by Scheffler's car, which led to pain, swelling, and abrasions to the left wrist and knee, damaging his pants beyond repair. That's still one of my favorite lines from that police report. Oh, yeah. Like you said on Friday, the seamstress holding up the pants going up. Yeah, they're beyond repair. That's right. We can't fix these. Apparently, they were about $80 value too. Oh, maybe you can find some savings in the budget by just lowering the cost of those pants. All right. Here's how Wichusen recalls the moment when Scheffler drove past him. The cop got very angry, pursuing the car. My impression is he was kind of running alongside, chasing the car, and then maybe he tripped and fell. I mean, there was kind of an outcropping or median, by the front gate. And keep in mind, it was raining. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. It was dark. Asked about Darlington's characterization of the officer attaching himself to the car, Wichusen said, "I could see him stumble, but I did not have a very clear view of exactly how you want to categorize the contact with the car." Wichusen said Scheffler was moving at a relatively slow speed, the speed you would drive a car if you were pulling up to the front gate of a place. He said before pulling over, he had driven approximately 10 or so yards that Darlington had estimated. When Scheffler stopped the car, Wichusen and Gillis were visibly upset. He runs up to the driver's side with his butt end of his flashlight, starts screaming, "Get out of the car, get out of the car," banging on the window, "Shut the engine off, get out of the car, I'm a police officer." The driver peacefully exited the car, Wichusen said, at which point the officer put him up against the car in handcuffs. Said Wichusen, there was when we realized, all the way up until then, we're like, oh my God, whoever's in this car, they're about to be an arrest of some sort. And then it was, oh my God, it's Scotty Scheffler. Recognizing the gravity and magnitude of the moment, Darley immediately switched into reporter mode and exited the SUV to document what was happening. Wichusen, Ogilvie, Fleming, and their driver hung back in the vehicle. "I'm not an investigative reporter, right?" Wichusen said. "I thought the exact right thing to do is just stay in the car, let Jeff go out and ask questions, and let the situation simply play out. And certainly not insert ourselves or all of a sudden try to, have any role in the play." The article goes on, but, you kind of get the gist of it. It does seem like a big misunderstanding, like Scotty Scheffler. And like we said on Friday, again, we weren't there, so I'm just going off of what reports say and what people are saying. But it just seemed like a quick, "Hey, who are you, sir? You shouldn't have been. Oh, okay, you're going to the tournament," and then boom, you're on your way. But, and they also said, he wasn't a tournament police officer. He was a police officer helping work the traffic with the accident and obviously the fatality that happened that morning. But, these were two separate locations as well. But yeah. Well, I mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning, if something like that happens, I think 99% of people would basically be like, all right, this is not my day. I'm going to withdraw from the tournament. I'm going home, and Scotty Scheffler kind of,
I've always liked him, but he's one more up in my book as far as that goes.
I will say, because of this quote unquote incident, I was actually kind of pulling for Scotty.
Yeah,
you know,
me
and
too.
I've never pulled for him, but I've never wanted him to do bad either. He's just like we talked about earlier. He's just kind of one of those guys who goes about his business. But we're going to jump into a conspiracy theory, and I think we're kind of on the same page. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. And to your point, I definitely think that. So what that happened Friday? He comes out, he plays great.
Yeah.
I definitely think that played into him playing as. No, he didn't play really poorly, but you could tell he just wasn't his regular. Yeah. He doesn't miss shots like he was missing Saturday. So you just got to think that probably mentally at some point he was like, I'm done, I think.
Right.
Well, and I think too, you know, the day of, you're riding the adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly.
You literally get out of jail. You're going to the first tee. You don't have time to really
stretching in your cell.
Yeah, stretching in your
watching
jail.
yourself on Get Up.
That was funny too.
Interesting.
That he was in there. Yeah, I'm sure he thought most of the time that he wasn't going to be playing, but you know, as he watched the events unfold on TV, he's like, all right, maybe I'll get it going.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many odd questions.
Yes.
Was his car marked? That they confirmed.
Yeah.
Like the player.
That's what like this report earlier in it.
And he
said,
wasn't the first player to show up.
Oh no.
There were already players that had been let through.
And there was other players that later that morning had to walk in. Will Zalatoris had to walk into the tournament because traffic was so bad.
So, and it's just odd to me that the number one player in the world was the only one that got tagged and this whole thing blew up. So do I really think it was orchestrated by the PGA? No, probably not. But you could
have been.
You could go down a rabbit hole.
That's what I was thinking this morning.
Because what led Get Up that morning?
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't have.
Well, shoot. I got my first text at 6:05 that morning. Somebody saying, "Hey, Scotty Scheffler's arrested." I was like, "Nah, come on."
Oh yeah, we were. I'm trying to remember how we found out about it. But yeah, we turned on ESPN like before Austin was going to school, and he was like, when I picked him up that afternoon, he was like, "Did Scotty get out of jail?" I was like, "Oh yeah, he played great."
Yeah, Liam asked me the same question.
Even my 9-year-old was enthralled with the whole.
Yep.
You know, the motto is "These guys are good." Maybe they're trying to change it to "These guys are bad,
but good."
Did you see the little post? It's like Scotty getting out of jail, and it's got the teardrop tattoo.
The meme world was on.
That was great.
Fire.
And I'm impressed with the. I only saw 2 guys, but I'm sure there were more that already had shirts that afternoon.
You've got
free Scotty.
some kind of printer at your, you got something.
Do you have that in the hotel? I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah. And then they high-fived him walking out A18, which is pretty crazy. But the PGA Championship is the PGA of America. That's the governing body, and then of course you have the PGA Tour, which quote unquote has nothing to do with this tournament. But you got the PGA and the LIV in this huge battle right now. The PGA Tour's ratings are declining. Scotty Scheffler's too boring. Hey, what can we do? Let's arrest Scotty Scheffler the second round of the Friday on the PGA Tour and get some excitement going. Because let's be honest, everybody in sports was talking about the golf world. Not even in sports, regular news was talking about Scotty Scheffler in the PGA Championship.
Yep. I'm starting to believe it. Y'all are rubbing off on me.
Are we kind of on the same trajectory?
Yeah. Like they did it to inject some excitement into things, and whether I'm sure it's not true, and you would like to think this is just a coincidence, but I've also learned there's not many coincidences in life, and to pull one guy like you said out of all, and there's many other cars, and they're all the same courtesy car too. That's another thing. Like when you go to a major championship and you're a player and you get the Mercedes, whatever it is who's sponsoring the courtesy cars, they're all the same. Yeah. They're all the same SUV, whatever it may be, and they all have that same stuff. So it's just...
And for it to be him.
Yeah.
Like, no shade to, like, Austin Eckroat. But, I mean, it was... And
everybody, no, it's it's weird, that's for sure. And then for him to, I don't think this is as much a conspiracy, but when you said about Friday, and then him not playing well on Saturday, Friday morning he gets arrested, he goes to jail, he gets out, he warms up for a few, and then he goes out and plays. You're probably not really letting everything what happened come to realization until that night.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because you're going.
Yeah.
I got to get to the golf course. I got to go play. And he goes out and shoots this, what did he shoot? He shot 5 under Friday, shoots 4 under the first day, 5 under the second day. And then he, shot 65 yesterday. So shot 6 under. And then Saturday, obviously, he shot the round that kind of took him out of the tournament to a certain degree. But also, do you think him not having Ted Scott on the bag for Saturday made a big difference?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, he was at his, daughter's graduation or something like that?
And he flew out Friday and then flew back, that night, Saturday night, and it was the chaplain of the PGA Tour that was, caddying for him. And this was planned. He knew it was going to happen, but then obviously getting arrested threw an extra wrinkle in that. So I think not only Ted Scott with the ability to help Scotty play good, but in a time where you need, your everything to be normal, not having your caddy, I'm sure that affected it as well.
But he picked the chaplain of the PGA Tour. That's, that's not a bad pick.
No.
No. So
hopefully they know how to read greens. But
right.
I think Scotty did most everything on his own for the most part. But let me ask you guys one more question about what the PGA Championship does that nothing else in professional golf do. They allow the players to use rangefinders.
I saw that.
What do y'all think about that? I arguably think play went much faster because of that.
I don't see a problem. And I don't think if they've all got them, I don't think it gives any one particular person an advantage.
And it's the same information that you're getting when you're, going and walking off your yardages and all that stuff. Yeah. It's just a different way to get it. And I think hopefully we'll see. I think that just speeds up the game.
And if that's the number one, then have at it, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I wasn't like, these guys are using rangefinders. This tournament feels weird and they have an advantage. No, I just thought, they're using rangefinders. That's cool.
I do like seeing the caddy flip through the book and, it doesn't.
Well, they still got to use their greens reading books and all that stuff. It's not just yardages. They got the elevations, the slopes, all that stuff. Because, you can't have a rangefinder that measures wind or slope. And that's with most any USGA or PGA of America governed event. But some streaks came to an end as well on Saturday with Scotty Scheffler. He had 3 straight bogey runs in Memphis. I think this was 2012. He's been 646 days and played 2,470 official PGA Tour holes without a stretch of 3 bogeys.
I blame it on Louisville cops. Yep.
There you go. Ted Scott.
He's
gone.
Yep.
It's a combination of all
stacked
things.
against him.
Yeah. It was.
It's just, man.
It's got a 8-day-old. That's where kind of my mind went, as being his wife at home with an 8-day-old baby, and she wakes up to probably like 300 text messages, and Scotty's in jail, and you're like, what?
You had a call from a Louisville Metro. I don't know if she was thinking that. I don't think you.
But I'm surprised no one asked him. Like, have you talked to Meredith?
It was that. That's.
I was waiting on that question.
Yeah.
But
that is
maybe
weird.
I don't know.
Maybe they already both knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all talking about?
Meredith, they didn't ask, not anything that I saw anyway. Didn't see a reporter, anybody ask, how's your wife doing since you spent the morning in jail and all that 8-day-old baby? No one says, no one asked her at all about.
He got that one phone call though.
Yeah.
So I'm sure.
You have a phone call from a Louisville Metro Police Department inmate. Would you like to accept the call? That's why the conspiracy theory just kind of seems to make more sense.
Right.
But yeah, not one reporter asked him how Meredith's doing, how your new baby is doing.
Yeah. No, it's...
And maybe it's an off-limit topic because he was very, very quiet about having his first child. You really never knew when it happened. They still haven't, they're very private when it comes to that. But, man.
Talk about planning, though, on her part. She planned it, right? Go win the Heritage.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's not really big events until that one, so that's pretty good.
And they sandbagged us during the Masters. They're like, the baby can come anytime. Lo and behold, the due date wasn't for 3 weeks later.
We didn't think it was real.
Yeah,
man, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the baby happened.
His name is Bennett.
Bennett.
Right? Yeah. His name is Bennett.
Bennett Scheffler.
Yeah.
What's the middle name?
Don't know about the middle name, but Bennett. I love the name Bennett. That's my.
They said it, and I don't remember what it was.
I know. It's okay. Hey, we do have to go to a break, though. We got D. Hayes behind the glass. Everything is back to normal now. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
Coach K is the latest to join on Ant Edwards. Let's slow down on the Michael Jordan comparisons. Nobody's saying he's going to go 6 for 6, but they do share some qualities, and that's okay. The league would like another MJ. The fans want it. The sport wants it. Everybody's craving another Michael Jordan.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Have a quick stretch first.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
Must have pulled something playing hoops last week.
And Jay Henley.
I know you're not putting that rock up from here. You ain't got no Jay.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Laura Hanlon in studio with us. Jay Henley, DJ Davey Crockett behind the glass. Hey, David, I think I got the poll in there, but I don't think I've got it active. If you can take a look for it. And then silent haircut. Well, you can't even ask you.
Yeah, you can't ask me because all of my haircuts are silent.
I was going to say.
I'm just talking to myself at that point. Well, but I love the concept, though.
Yeah.
And then when he brought up Silent Show, I'm like, oh, man, we got to try this. I think this would make it pretty easy on me.
We started off, and if you weren't listening on the radio, we started off in the Silent Show world.
Dead air.
Well, no, we were on the radio. We were just not on social media.
But I'm just saying a silent show, dead air.
Yeah. There was a little tinge of dead air.
a little tinge. But yeah, silent haircut or no, the poll question for today. All right. Xander Schauffele was on that list of what you could say best players to never win a major. He's got that taken care of now. Some notable other players and some of them are still playing, some of them aren't. Some gentlemen that you may know, and let me know if it's surprising or not. But Xander got it done yesterday. Patrick Cantlay is another one that hasn't. Tony Finau has not. Ian Poulter never won a major. Matt Kuchar never won a major. Steve Stricker, which still baffles me, never won a major. Paul Casey never won a major. Luke Donald never won a major. Lee Westwood, he was so close so many times, so many runner-up finishes. And then Ricky Fowler has never won a major as well. I guess two-part question. Who on that list are you most surprised never won a major? And then who do you think will be the next one to get off that list?
The Luke Donald, I feel like he was always...
He was number one in the world
so
for
close
quite a long time, too, as
so
well. Yeah.
I was surprised that he never... I'm a Ricky fan. I'd love to see Ricky do it. I just don't. I don't know if... I don't know if Ricky... I feel like he's got so much more going on in his life.
You're going to say if Ricky cares.
And I don't know that he doesn't, but sometimes it comes off a little bit like, I live in a mansion with a beautiful wife and kid. And
he's won a lot of tournaments.
On the water.
Played in Ryder Cups.
Got a lot of money. Make some more commercials. But who else did you say? Kuchar?
Yeah, Matt Kuchar never won. Poulter never won. obviously Patrick Cantlay and Tony Finau and Ricky are obviously still actively playing golf, and some of these others are not actively playing golf anymore. But I think Tony, in my opinion, I think Tony or Patrick probably be the next one to get it. I think Xander was the most famous that hadn't yet, especially because he won that Olympic gold medal back in the Olympics 4 years ago, almost to the day.
What about Viktor Hovland? Did you mention Viktor?
He's not on this list because I still think he's fairly new.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how many total majors he's competed in, but yeah. But I mean, I think he's one that'll, if he goes through a couple more years of not winning one, I think he makes that list. That's for sure.
And it was a year ago that Ricky kind of started being not so flat in his golf swing.
Yeah, he made the changes, and then obviously he had the lead at the U.S. Open last year over in Los Angeles Country Club, and
that's right.
Ended up losing it to Wyndham Clark.
So he's close.
He's been close a lot.
Yeah. Hang in there, Laura. I think he'll be there in the end.
Maybe he needs to grow his hair back out. Start that trend again.
Yeah.
Remember when he had the hair coming out of the?
Yeah.
He like a boy band member, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think Jordan Spieth's pants? Doesn't he wear his pants a little odd or a little weird? In your opinion?
Spieth?
Yeah. It just seems like they're.
Now we're getting into the meat here.
Yeah.
I'd have to. I don't know. Now I'm going to pay attention.
Okay, please do. I can't stand watching it.
What do y'all think about the joggers like that Justin Thomas had on yesterday?
Joggers.
They have like the little.
Here's my thought on joggers. If I'm going to wear a pair of joggers, which I'm not saying I would, but I would make sure my socks are certainly long enough, because I could not stand my ankle or lower leg being exposed. And what a terrible tan line you'd get too.
True.
Was he wearing long socks with him?
I'm pretty sure you could see ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the ankle, and I just don't like wearing ankle socks with long pants anyway. Playing golf.
Well, he was at home, right there in Louisville. He's from there, right? So I mean, when you're at home, you
just rolled out of bed with his joggers.
Yeah.
Go out to the course.
True. Man, I did not.
Now I don't. So elaborate on the Spieth. I've got to figure out what.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
he just hates Under Armour.
Now,
even though you're wearing an Under Armour shirt. I'm pretty sure you had that combination on last week as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go back to the live.
Yeah.
But no, baby blue. You missed it. David wore it on Friday. You wore it today.
Back to JT, though. Or no, Jordan Spieth.
Jogger. Yeah.
I feel like his pants are, if he's a 34, I think he's wearing like a 36, 34. Or whatever. I just feel like they're a little, and they're almost,
so
his belt.
They're too big?
They're too big?
A little bit.
I'm back here looking at a bunch of pictures. They don't look like they're too big. Maybe a little too snug.
His belt is like right above his navel. Like
he does have a.
So he's doing like the older guy. With the belly, and you wear the pants up on the belly button.
He just doesn't wear them like.
I have never noticed this.
Really?
I do notice when he after a shot, he's walking up the fairways constantly. He touches his belt, does something, and he does this like a lot.
He's got a twitch.
Got a twitch.
Yeah, he sure does.
I've noticed that. Now I've got to notice the pants.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
We'll report back on that one.
I don't know if there's anything to report back on. Poor Jordan Spieth. What do you got against Jordan?
Nothing. No, I'm just being observant.
When are you going to wear a pair of joggers?
Never.
Come on, don't say never. No. You can never say never. So I was looking up Viktor Hovland. He's played in 2019. He played in 2. So he's played in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16. He's played in 18 majors so far. And his best major finishes in the PGA Championship. He was tied for second last year, tied for third this year. He tied for fourth in the 2022 Open Championship, and tied for seventh in last year's Masters. So he's had some great finishes. But, I mean, compared to like a Ricky Fowler who's been playing golf for, 12, 14 years in majors. So... But
That's close.
Yeah, he's played in 18. Who do you think will happen first, Viktor Hovland or Patrick Cantlay or Tony Finau?
Oh, I thought you were going to throw Ricky Fowler in there.
I'll throw Ricky Fowler in there.
What you think, David Heath? No.
I'm going Hovland.
Yeah, I got to go with Hovland. I do.
What do you think?
I kind of thought Finau. I don't know.
Who would you want to win a major first?
I've got to say Ricky. I keep pulling for the guy. I feel like all his friends have one, and he's just over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
He can't join the conversation when they get together.
That's true.
It's awkward, yeah. And they rub it in. If you've watched the Full Swing documentary, they definitely grind him about it. That's for sure. That is for sure.
And then Finau's got all those kids, and they all travel with him. I just feel like it's just controlled chaos for him throughout the week. I can't imagine. Could you imagine?
That's why his swing's so short. He's trying not to waste any extra effort because he's got to give so much of it to the rest of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Did you see you probably didn't, but on the Corn Ferry Tour, the gentleman who ended up going on to win, Harry Higgs, which I'm sure you've heard that name. He famously took off his shirt at, the Wasted Management Phoenix Open when he made that either putt or hole in one. But he's down playing on the Corn Ferry Tour. He won in a playoff yesterday, but in order to get to that playoff, he had to hole out for eagle on his last hole, and he did.
No way.
Absolutely. Then he goes to win the tournament.
Wow. So from the fairway,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't think it was like 160 I think it was probably under 100, but it was outside of 50 for sure.
Did you see the one guy yesterday? I think it was yesterday on 13. Nobody all week had gone had been successful.
Yeah.
That one
Toasty.
guy.
Or Toasty, whatever it was. Yeah.
That was awesome.
He
made the putt for an eagle.
I know. It was a fantastic shot. So I was like, I wonder if any of these guys are going to go for it down the stretch that need it. But there's not really an advantage to doing it because it's such a small target, and these guys should be, inside 100 yards, should be able to hit it pretty darn close.
DeChambeau hit iron yesterday. I mean,
almost hit it in the...
He did.
I thought he actually laid up a little too close. I know he told the walking announcer that he did not mean to get it that close to the water, but a lot of us amateurs would dunk that one in the water. That's for sure. But he didn't. And
Don't hit it in the water. Don't hit it in the water. Where are you going to hit it?
Exactly.
I was thinking while I was watching the tournament yesterday, how quarterbacks have audibles, how Valhalla would be such a great audible. Valhalla,
Oh, like an audible call.
Yeah.
Omaha.
Kentucky, that.
Is part of an audible call having to go to a higher pitched syllable at the end? Valhalla.
That's an interesting thought to have.
There's a lot of interesting thoughts he has.
While you were watching the golf tournament.
Yeah.
I know, right? You just never know.
Literally, we never know. That is for sure. Next major championship, where's it at?
Is it the Open?
Well, it's yes. I didn't ask what it is. I asked where it was at. Yes, it's always the Open. Father's Day weekend.
St. Andrews.
When's the last time they played the U.S. Open at?
U.S. Open. I'm thinking of the Open. The Open.
The U.S. Open in June. Father's Day weekend every year.
Where is it? Is it like Bethpage?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Pinehurst.
Number 2.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Pinehurst.
All of our audibles for Dynasty are going to be golf course names.
You should.
Kids are going to be like, why? Like, Jay, he's a special teams coordinator. That's what we allow to happen. I'm going to stay in the golf world. The NCAA Women's National Championship is on to its 4th and final round of stroke play. The original field of 30 teams got cut down to 15 after that third round, and our good friends over there from Florida State University, Lottie Wood, actually had to birdie the 18th hole yesterday for Florida State to get one stroke ahead of Arizona State to make that top 15. So rounds haven't started yet today on the Omni course out there in Carlsbad, California. But Florida State needs some serious work today to make it to the match play. They are currently plus 25. And right now, if it ended, Auburn would be in with Oregon, both tied at plus 12 for that 7th and 8th spot. So Florida State's going to make that top 8. They either need everybody to fall or they need to shoot some good golf and get in there. And it's the grind. It's the national championship grind. They got to go out there, practice all week, play 3 rounds of stroke play, make the top 15, then get inside the top 8. If you do that, then you got to play 3 more rounds of match play to go on and win the national championship. But that's what they do. That's why they're there. So we'll keep an eye on. They tee off at 10:30. I believe that is the local time out there. So they won't be getting going until about 1. They're 2 hours behind. Yeah, we determined that. Yes, 2 hours behind. So, about 12:30 here, we'll hopefully give you an update and see how the Lady Seminoles are doing. But the men will be heading out there shortly. And then, as I mentioned, Auburn, which we talked to Brad Law about this past week, they're currently holding down that last spot, tied with Oregon at plus 12. Hopefully they can shoot a good round and move on to that national championship. Texas A&M, Stanford, LSU, Clemson, Northwestern, UCLA, Oregon, and Auburn are currently inside the top 8. Who do you think, Jay? You think they get in that top 8? They have to make some serious stuff happen, that's for sure.
Yeah, talking about Auburn?
No, Florida State.
Oh, Florida State. Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Shoot a little 10 or 11 under par today, and hope everybody. Yesterday was a tough day. I think that I didn't look at the weather, but something had to have been going on because the scores were considerably higher yesterday than the rounds 1 and 2. That's for sure.
Where's it going? Or where is it again?
It's in Carlsbad, California, at the Omni La Costa North course. None of these teams have ever played it before. It's either just opened or renovated, one or the other, but there was no opportunity to play it until they got there for practice rounds. And I know the men's team's probably out there cheering them on, as their national championship will start at the end of this week once the ladies' match play and national championship gets underway.
Go Noles.
There you go. Did you watch the Preakness?
I did not. Yeah. What about Mystic Dan? Where did he?
He ended up finishing second.
He did?
Yep. Finishing second, Mystic Dan. Yeah.
Who ended up winning?
In our pool, or
just in general?
Oh, in the actual Preakness?
Sees Me Gray.
Yep, Sees Me Gray.
Sees Me Gray.
And I figured out you can use twin spires in Florida. And I got some in there. And last minute, Liam comes. He's like, "Oh, there's one of these on. Can I bet?" So he bet $7 on one horse, and then right before the race started, he put $5 on Seize the Gray, and he won like $54.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
So now he's like, "Well, I'm just a horse picker." I'm like, "Man, do it more often, and you'll see how it goes."
I feel like you had a good weekend in the betting world.
I learned that this whole Hard Rock's been doing these things where like it's either like an MLB parlay, an NBA single game parlay, or any kind of parlay, and it's like if you do a $20 bet and it doesn't hit, they give you a bonus bet of the $20.
Free money.
It kind of, unless you lose twice, then you've lost $20.
I got
But it's essentially like you're getting two $20 bets.
Yeah.
And I've hit on several of them.
Did you do any of the ESPN Plus betting, where you could bet they would feature one of the threesomes? I guess because they play threesomes almost.
Oh, yeah. Like
you could bet like is Ricky gonna par, birdie, or bogey the next hole, and they'd show you the odds.
Like live betting?
Yeah. It was on ESPN.
The ESPN
Plus
bet
on our Hulu. It was
Wow.
interesting. I've never seen it before.
It was on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
But are people really betting?
Well, I think
what they're gonna,
unless probably in
Yeah.
states that you can. I just was surprised that you could do. I mean, I'm sure it's just the broadcast they're doing nationally, because unless it's through Hard Rock, you can't do it unless you got somebody. Which there's a lot of somebodies, but they like.
Yeah,
to
that was
say
new.
it.
I've never seen that.
But that's good. We've talked about that on the
We
air.
have.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you make stuff more engaging?
Right.
You stage an arrest for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Right.
Poor guy.
You wonder if it did spike their ratings at all.
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would
didn't
imagine. Well, we'll find out when they get the reports about the viewership last year to previous. But I think more people were talking about golf Friday than we have had talked about in a long time. Every major outlet, that's for sure. Oop, 1 minute over there. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. When we get back, it'll be time for our afternoon delight debrief. Jay, I know you don't got any, but you got about a minute and 45 seconds to get one figured out. I've got some good ones. All right. You're listening to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, available on all your devices.
Connected.
Hear your favorite sports talk hosts.
The Coach James Hale Show.
You're listening to the Inside Drive live.
The afternoon underdog.
And your favorite teams.
Braves winning!
We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 82 with a light breeze at 7 miles per hour coming out of the west. For tonight, clear skies with a light breeze at a low near 71. Tomorrow, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 84. For Wednesday, sunshine and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're gonna have a talk.
Tell me what you know. You're out! Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside these beautiful Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Where can you find them, Jay?
At the corner of 23rd and Frankfurt.
Right there, the mecca of boat and car dealerships. They had their big electrified event last Friday. I think the weather held out for them nicely. If you got a chance to go there, then you got a plate from K-Halls if you're one of the first 30 people. But we want to appreciate them for hanging with us for over a year now. Like Jay said, you can check them out at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Lots of new vehicles in stock. Express service, regular service, tires at cost. They'll give you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 off select vehicles. And then if you need to get out on the water, because the 10-day looks fantastic, Jay. I know all the boaters out there, if your boat's not up and running, there's one place you can take it, and that's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. And you don't even have to take it there. You can have them come out to your dock and get you fixed up. We learned what a full repower was. That's where they just put you a new motor on
That's
there.
it.
It's a fancy,
that simple.
It's that simple, but it's a fancy word.
Repower.
There's probably something in the golf world that is like a repower, but sounds fancier.
We do that as America, don't we? We just kind of complicate things.
We sensationalize.
We do.
I think is maybe the word. I don't know. But anyway, Kramer Marine and Outdoor, they sell Seabourn, Sundance, and
Skeeter,
as well as CRI. All that CRI family there. Trailers, service, whatever it may be. All that right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Jay, you got one?
Excuse me. Gosh.
I know. You get through it.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, you're going to need to recover before tonight. He's got a big playoff game tonight, D. Hayes.
Yep.
Oh, boy, they let y'all in. Let's go.
No, we're seated number one.
Really?
Yep. We're playing versus the Raptors.
So it's exactly like they do the upper, they do the lower.
Yep.
And you're number one taking on get some.
So if we
Where y'all
win,
playing?
Breakfast Point
Yeah,
at
nice.
5:30 this evening.
Ooh, early. The matinee game.
The boys are ready.
Good.
They are ready.
Are you?
Fired up. I'm going to try to get there.
I'm
not
gonna
fired up
try.
yet.
I'm gonna need you to have a
need
little
some
more.
Theraflu, brother.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be some motivation at 5:30 this evening.
All right.
What about a Vermont cat earns honorary doctorate in literature? Literature?
Nice. Is this a pun?
A cat frequenting the Vermont State University Castleton campus was awarded a very special honorary degree as the school's first Doctor of Literature.
Literature.
Nice. The school said on social media that the cat, his name's Max, lives with his owners on Seminary Street. Very interesting. He has been an affectionate member of the Castleton family for years. The feline can often be found socializing with friends outside Leavenworth, the Post said. With a resounding purr of approval from the faculty, the Board of Trustees of the Vermont State Catledges has bestowed upon Max Doe the prestigious title of Doctor of Literature, complete with all the catnip perks, scratching post privileges, and litter box responsibilities that come with it, the school said. How about that?
There you go. You know what the mascot of Vermont is?
Please don't tell me.
The Catamounts.
No way. You can't make this up.
No, you can't. That's why it's on the internet.
Interesting.
Everything on the internet's true.
Never been to Vermont.
Well, considering you told us for a long time you'd never been north of the Mason-Dixon line, then we find out you've been to like Michigan and Ohio and all these places that are quite north of the Mason-Dixon line. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've been up there to the Vermont, Rhode Island, New Hampshire area.
What
They all
mountain?
kind of run together.
Do
They're
they?
all small.
Yeah, that's
Very
what I was
small.
thinking.
Very small.
Probably go through 5 states in an hour and a half, I would think. I mean,
Just knock them off the
Not
list.
you,
Knock
though.
'em off.
Not that you. It'd take you 2 hours to go
Yeah, it
through
would.
an hour and a half worth of 5 states. Dude, they would think of the same thing on that.
yeah.
If you drive through a state, does it count that you've visited there?
That's fair. Ooh, that's fair.
Oh,
You gotta hit a rest area,
That's
right?
a great
Even
point.
if
You
you
got to
don't-
get
okay.
out.
You gotta get out.
Okay, so
2
if you
feet on the
stop
ground.
and you get gas and you go potty,
Counts.
it counts.
Might as well get you a souvenir.
There you go.
I think it driving through is legit. A train, okay. An airport, absolutely not.
So airport, no.
No,
Airport, no,
You
or
don't
airplane?
visit airport. Like you land.
Well, if it's an
you have a
airplane,
connection.
you're flying over, so that no. But no, so it's okay. So
If I have a connecting flight.
Okay. All right.
and-
So I'm flying out to XYZ and I have to go through Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Right.
which I've done before. I didn't go outside the airport, but I've never been to Oklahoma, according to you.
You can't. Mm-mm. Nope. It's against the rule.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
Really?
What if you bought
I
like
can't.
what if you sat at the bar and bought a beer there and somebody goes, "Oh, have you ever been to Tulsa?" He'd still say no.
You could write a song about having a beer in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That's
so
true. So you've been
Tulsa.
there.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Kenny Chesney's been to Mexico.
Yeah. I think you got to step outside. I think you got to step out.
You got to step outside?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, well,
You gotta
so
step
indoors
Just walk out the
count.
door.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Technically, when you are going from the jetway onto the plane, you're outside there for, a little bit. The outside air is getting in.
It's true. I do want to visit all 50 states before.
Look, you better get moving.
I know. I'm like at 15 or 16 right now.
That's
I don't
not
know
bad.
what you- yeah.
15 or 16?
Yeah.
And you've been lying to us.
No, I mean they're all in the South and Southeast for the most part.
I mean, let's Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. That's 6 right there.
Right.
And now you got another 10 or 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan says if you're, he's coming to Jay's defense. If you don't go outside of the airport, it doesn't count.
See, I agree with Laura though. If I
Me too.
patronized a business in that state, I've been to that state. And that airport is a business in that state.
I don't think I've ever been to an airport though, and not that been my destination. Essentially, my first ever flight was from here to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta to Russia. So,
Oh, wow.
Go big or go home.
You got that right.
yeah, it was like an all-day flight. So,
Yeah. Whew.
The double decker to Moscow.
yeah, we was riding the bus.
As long as it's not a Boeing, you're good.
That's
You're
right.
good. But no, I mean, it's a good poll question.
Mm-hmm.
So according to you, I've never been to Oklahoma, but according to me, I have.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, we got a poll
Perspective
out.
matters more. Someone else's or your own.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah, I get it. It's, you gotta have an asterisk on the, the map where you put all your pins.
Yeah.
You gotta have an asterisk on some of this.
Yeah. We need to do that one day where, if you,
I still want to see what 16 states you've been to.
You got to go home and make a list.
I will.
Because that
will.
seems Wednesday. Wait till Wednesday.
Okay.
Just go get a map printout and just put a little gold star everywhere you've been. I think that would be wonderful.
Yes.
And we'll hang it up here in the studio. Look at Jay's culturism.
we need to do, like things like, have you been arrested? Have you been, have you ever jumped out of a plane before? We just need to go right down the list and just go for it.
Yeah, you see like the people share those things on Facebook where like you get certain points when you do this.
Yeah.
That's just a scam for people to learn about your personal information.
Jay's out there filling them out.
But Jay, he's like, I've done them all.
Social security number.
Yeah. That's that's an important one. That's for sure. All right, I'm gonna follow up on the. We talked about it last Friday. Remember the world's the largest gathering of Kyles? You remember they were going for that world record this past Saturday?
Yeah.
Do you think they got it or no?
I don't think they did.
They only got 706 people to come out.
Man,
I know. I think they needed what was it? 2,325 people named Ivan gathered in 2017 in a town in Bosnia, which I think Caveman Rick had commented last Friday. He knew exactly where I was talking about when it came to that. But yes, they were trying to break the record of Kyle's at 1,490, and they were only able to get 706 Kyles to come out.
That's not
Where did
good.
they hold this?
In Kyle, Texas.
Huh?
Yeah.
Appropriate.
Exactly. Isn't Texas A&M Stadium Kyle Field?
Kyle Field, yes, sir.
Texas and Kyle. That goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's where Monster was invented. I have no idea about that. I was just joking because Kyle's drink Monster. I believe that's the name, right? they drink Monsters and punch walls. I think that's Kyle's.
Kyle Busch?
I mean, there's no one in particular, but Stenhouse did get him yesterday. didn't he?
Yeah, I know.
We were talking about that earlier. It just seemed like the cheesiest little.
I didn't even see it. I just saw the headline.
Who was the guy in the the suit, not the suit, but like the pit crew uniform or the driver suit that was like green in color, and he was telling them to get out of there at the end? Who was that guy?
I didn't see that.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the golf thing. It seemed a little. I mean, it was 2 laps into the race, and then I got a story about that later. Maybe I can make that an afternoon.
We should have had Bagwell today instead of on Thursday. I bet you he's going crazy over that today.
I did get one of the NASCAR ones, and David got the other one. Logano finally won something.
Yeah,
finally
Who was right behind him?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Denny.
Should have doubled down on. You should have picked Denny too, Jay.
I should have, but
she would have got that second one. That's for sure. Bears.
You guys are just starting to get in cahoots against me, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
I feel like it's if I can get one of the NASCARs, I feel like it's a victory. But. All right, Jay, I got another one for you. This is from Barstool Sports. I'm going to have to be careful how fast I read it. But this is from it says, there's an Arctic vault protecting human culture from an apocalypse. This was from yesterday, 11:25 p.m. Thank God somebody is preserving human culture in case there's an apocalypse. If there's anything humans should be remembered after we kill ourselves and eradicate the entire species, it's our culture. That's for sure. I had no idea about this. I knew Norway had an Arctic seed vault that they had set up in case we wipe ourselves off the face of the earth and survivors are able to rebuild. But I didn't know they also set this up. Have you heard about the seed vault?
No, but I feel like I need to get to know Victor Hovland pretty well. From what you're going, rather. Keep going. Yeah. He's from Norway, but
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. There you go.
This is going to be you're saying Norway is a safe place if apocalypse comes to...
Let's find out.
All right.
According to Wikipedia, the Arctic World Archive is a secure data storage facility located in Svalbard. That's a tough one. Norway. This remote, geological, stable archipelago within the Arctic Circle provides an ideal location for the long-term preservation of critical digital data. Here's a detailed look at its key aspects. Do you remember what an archipelago is? Do you remember having to do that in geography growing up?
I don't.
I think it's...
You said acapella?
Archipelago.
Oh, I thought
I think it's like a group of islands, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's what I think I remember it being. But anyway, I remember like archipelago being on tests growing up. I don't know if they probably still do.
I don't remember that.
No, you don't.
It is a group of islands.
There you go. You don't remember archipelago, Jay?
I do not.
I must have skipped that in Mississippi learning education. I don't recall it.
I don't know why. I just picture it on a piece of paper. And
I got somebody on my team right now.
That's the only reason we brought her in today was to make you feel at home.
I'm just kidding.
There you go. But no, the primary goal of the Arctic World Archive is to store and protect valuable digital information for future generations, ensuring its survival against potential global catastrophes, technological failures, and other threats. The archive aims to safeguard culturally, scientifically, and historical significant data from various nations and organizations, acting as a digital backup of the world's knowledge and heritage. Situated in a permafrost region, Jay, that means it's always permanently frosted, the AWA benefits from the natural cold with age in preserving magnetic tapes for data storage. The site is also politically neutral, adding to its security and stability. Svalbard's location ensures minimal risk from natural disasters like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, making a reliable choice for the long-term archive. Data is stored on specifically designed magnetic tapes that could last for over 1,000 years. These tapes are highly durable and resistant to environmental factors. While the archive is designed for long-term storage, it is also equipped with the necessary technology to retrieve and read data when needed. It goes on to talk a little more specifically about it, but there you go.
Sounds like the storyline for the next Mission Impossible.
It does feel that way.
The bad guys are going to still... Yeah. And they just told him exactly where to go.
Exactly. And it's snowing, just like in all those movies. It's always, cold.
It's up to Tom Cruise to save us all again.
Yeah. God, I love Tom Cruise. Do you love Tom Cruise?
Actor, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
not that I know him personally, but some questionable personal
Best Tom Cruise movie ever.
Oh, that's
tough.
That's really tough.
Come on.
Top 2.
Come on. You know.
Can we do like an action and a non-action? I do love Cocktail.
No, yes, we talked about Cocktail on this one.
It's a great movie.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And then action, I mean, of course, Top Gun, awesome.
Yeah.
And the Mission Impossibles are good. I mean, you could just go down a rabbit hole watching all those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you?
I don't
know.
I
feel like
Cocktail. But Mission Impossible, I could never get into any of the Mission Impossible ones. Yeah.
I like and I'm sure I'm not
mission
thinking
for you
of
is
some.
not impossible.
There you go.
Cocktail's a great movie.
Yeah.
He's probably the best looking Tom Cruise is like his height of good looking. And then the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
That is a good soundtrack.
I actually own that on a CD somewhere.
I think my mom had that on the tape growing up, if I'm not mistaken.
What about Risky Business? You remember that one? Where he was sweeping and,
You're just naming the most famous scene from that movie.
Yeah.
I did not watch Varsity Blues over the weekend. So now you know what it's like.
Laura, please tell me you've watched Varsity
I've seen Varsity Blues.
To assign me homework. I've seen it. It's just been a really long time. But see, I've assigned you like 3 different homework assignments, and you've got zeros on all of them. So I've just got zeros on one.
Right.
But I'm going to try to watch
Y'all
it.
did mention one like a week or 2 ago that you've not seen. I can't remember what it was. I was blown away that he hadn't seen that.
That he hadn't?
Yeah, I thought maybe I'm
I don't know.
switching around.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
He's kind of a 90s guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw Aaron over the weekend on Saturday.
Did you?
We were talking about your trivia. Yeah.
That's great.
He said, like any other sport besides baseball, and you got a lot better shot.
All right.
And then I said, yeah. And then when he went to football, he chose Tom Brady as the as the one. All right, one more quick one, and I'm assuming this is real. It's it's on like Reddit and stuff like that, but this is from several years ago. It says hungry photographer deletes all wedding photos and leaves after being denied food. A photographer went viral last month. Again, this was 3 years ago for deleting all wedding photos after being denied food and water and a 20-minute break. The photographer is not a wedding photographer, but a dog groomer and a former friend of the newlyweds. The couple hired the photographer for only $250. He gained his not-so-professional photography experience by taking pictures of his dogs, where he showcases them on his Facebook and Instagram pages. He claimed on Reddit that he was supposed to be working from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Food was served at 5 p.m. He was told he could not sit down to eat because he had to continue being the photographer. He even mentions that he did not have a seat at the table. Imagine getting your feet getting on your feet for 6 hours under the hot sun and being told you can't eat or have a drink, let alone a 20-minute break. It's unfair and inconsiderate. He says the venue is at an old veteran Legion with no AC. And to add, there was no staff to get water. When he told the groom that he would like something to eat and break, the groom's response was, I need you to be a photographer or leave without pay. The photographer said at that point, with the unbearable heat, hunger pains, being thirsty, and all the above, being extremely annoyed, he asked his friend if he was sure, and he replied yes, causing the photographer to delete all the photos from the wedding in front of him and leave saying, I'm not the photographer anymore. He added that at that point, if he was paid $250, he would have paid $250 just to have a glass of water and sit for 5 minutes. The newlyweds went on their honeymoon and have taken a break from social media after people asked him about their wedding photos. There you go, Jay.
Be nice to your waiters, waitresses, and photographers.
Yeah, especially when it sounds like it's just a friend doing a nice favor for you. $250 for wedding photos is like nothing this day and age.
Yeah.
So,
It's almost deserving. They sound like really not nice people.
I know, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, just
go photographer.
And there you go. That's the thing, too. Back in the day, you had to take the film out, throw away the film. Now you just delete all.
And that magical moment is nowhere to be found.
Hey, maybe it'll be good for them. Maybe. They can just enjoy the memory without pictures.
It's true.
Wedding, though, it's probably one of the ones you probably want to have pictures of.
He had real hanger issues.
Yes. Right. I can see you doing something like that, Jay.
Me?
Yeah, because you get hungry.
Oh, have to feed Jay a Snickers, though, move right on.
Yeah. Give him a Snickers, give him some water, and he's good to go.
Feed animals.
There you go. Whew. Well, that was our afternoon delight debrief on this beautiful Monday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We're joined by Laura Hanlon in studio. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is celebrating our 7-year anniversary on June 26th.
Gotta be a curtain call right here.
You made us the #1 destination on the Panhandle for live and local sports talk, high school, college football, the NFL, and the Atlanta Braves.
Way on back it goes. That's torched.
And to thank you for helping us reach this milestone, we're giving away more tickets to the Atlanta Braves this season than ever before. Keep listening for details from ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Monday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a light breeze out of the west, sunshine and 82. Clear skies tonight, a little cooler at 71 and a wind at 5 miles per hour coming out of the east-northeast. Tomorrow, sunny and a light breeze right around 7 miles per hour with a high of 84. The same at 84 Wednesday, and we'll have sunshine. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
Hey, Howard, what you doing up there?
Listen to this story about Swampy Jack and the Swamp Ape. You know, the Florida Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, like Abominable Snowman at the Old Miracle Strip Amusement Park.
No, Clyde, like the Florida Bigfoot. They call it a Swamp Ape.
Right. Swampy Jack's One-Go Adventure in PCB has a ride called a Swamp Ape. Like the Abominable Snowman, only turbocharged.
No, I'm listening to a story on YouTube about Swampy Jack and the Swamp Ape.
Right, Swampy Jack. That's his story and the reason he built his Swamp Ape ride.
Man, I love that Abominable Snowman. What was the song I used to ask for?
I remember you like Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah, that's it. What say we go to Swampy Jack's in Panama City and give it a whirl?
I hear he's got a mostly tame swamp ape there.
Oh, come on. You can't catch him, much less tame him. Why, they're the hide-and-seek world champion.
Swampy Jack's One-Go Adventure, 284 Powell Adams Road, Panama City Beach.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Joined by Laura Hanlon in the studio. Jay, we got you for one more segment, then you got to go teach some of that golf action out there.
Yep. Then basketball 5:30.
Whew.
Yes, sir.
Man, I can't wait to. Well, I won't be able to hear about it. Wait to talk about it. Now you can talk about it tomorrow.
All right.
Just let me know.
Yep.
How it goes, because I feel good. And if you win tonight, next game would be the
tomorrow night at
back-to-back champion potential.
Momentum, man. I'm telling you,
it's all about momentum.
You, it really is.
Who's your leader on the team that's going to give the good speech to kick off?
Easton.
Easton.
My boy Easton.
That's
he's in 8th grade. Stands about 5'11", weighs about 100 pounds.
5'11", 100.
Yep. And he is a basketball baller.
I like it.
And a motivator.
I like it. Hey, that's what you need. You can't just be the coach.
No,
one of the kids too has got to get everybody.
You got to seek out that leader, and I have found my leader for that team.
That's
and
it.
Easton is the man.
What have you learned in your first season coaching a sport besides golf? I know that
golf is so individualized, and I love it, and I've been a part of it for so long, and I still love it. But that team atmosphere of coming off of a couple of points, like go on a 10-point run.
Yeah.
Somebody calling timeout and coming back in, and it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's a feeling of like we're here to win it. And anyways, it's exciting, very exciting.
I can see. I mean, I taught a lot of golf prior to coming down here to Florida, and I always enjoyed it. Always enjoyed doing the junior camp stuff like that. But then, I just something about coaching team sports, and when it all comes, it's a group of people coming together, and it's fun.
But we talk about it with golf is you have a bad hole. You have a bad hole like number 1, number 2, you're able to jump back from that. It's like I talk about from a coach, I'm able to kind of see the team in warm-ups and kind of see what kind of night we're going to have prior to tip-off. You can just see the body language of all the kids. I mean, if they're in it, they're in it. If they're not, you just might as well just hang on.
There you go.
Move on.
They got music playing in the gym usually?
No, but I tell you what.
Bring your own music, Jay.
Oh, now that's bringing a whole nother vibe. I like it.
You're talking about keeping them energetic and going.
Yeah. I need a speaker, though.
Well, there's a lot of places that sell them.
Speaker City.
That was the first place on my bingo card, too, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's old school, right?
That's old school.
Gives them the bread maker twice, the wedding gift, and then gives them the birthday gift. They don't make them like that anymore.
They don't. They don't.
Good stuff. Laura, we'll dive into that in the last segment because you got to leave. I was just going to talk to you about, David. She's a huge Alabama fan. She's been in Alabama her whole life, and I was going to ask her some questions about what she thinks in this upcoming season. I was going to do it now, but we are losing you at the end of this segment, Jay. So let's go over our pick'em from this past weekend. We did a lot of hockey games, a lot of NBA games over the course of a few days, and there's only one series in the semifinals still in, and that's on the hockey side of things, Jay. But we started picking games last Friday. The first game we picked was the Panthers at the Bruins. You and David both took the Bruins to extend it to Game 7. Do you know what happened, Jay?
Yeah, the Bruins lost it.
They lost.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard from Marty from Boston since that day, so hopefully he's doing okay. But yes, the Panthers won that one 2-1 on a very late goal. Bruins were on a power play, about 4 minutes left to go in that game, couldn't score, and Florida Panthers scored. I think it was about 1:40-50 left in that game, and it was kind of a fluke-ish goal, and they're moving on to playing the Eastern Conference Finals. On the Western Conference Finals, a great game. I know you didn't stay up to see it because it was way past your bedtime.
Yeah.
But the next game we picked was the Stars and the Avalanche. David and I both picked the Avs. You did pick your Dallas Stars, and guess what happened?
The Avs won.
No, the Dallas Stars won in double overtime.
Wow.
To move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, which will be decided tonight, which we'll get into that here in just a moment. And then we picked the Canucks-Oilers game from Saturday. Two of us picked the Oilers. One of us picked the Canucks. Jay, you did pick the Canucks. Unfortunately, the Oilers won that one 5-1 in that particular matchup. So they will play tonight in the last game of the conference semifinals, a trip to play your Dallas Stars on the line. But that'll be after you're done with basketball, Jay. So hopefully your adrenaline will still be rocking and rolling. Have you watched the start of a hockey game yet?
I have not. When you watch Varsity Blues, I'll watch hockey.
Who watches Varsity Blues first or a hockey game first?
I got Ryan watching Varsity Blues.
Beth said last night, she's like, should we watch Varsity Blues? But it was like 9:30, and I was like, I ain't gonna make it, so I don't want to watch it if I'm not gonna be able to see it. But yeah,
that's how I watch movies normally. Turn them on, I fall right asleep.
You just draw an eye on the back side of your eyelids. As my dad always used to say, I'm just resting my eyes.
Oh yeah,
I'm just resting my eyes.
Watching the backs of my eyelids.
Yeah, there you go.
You know it.
There you go. Yep. Who do you think gets it, Jay? Canucks or Oilers?
The Oilers are coming off a 5-1 win.
But it's going back to Vancouver for Game 7.
Let's go home team. You got to go Vancouver.
You got to go the Canucks.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
Do you pay attention to hockey at all?
I do not.
It's okay. Either does Jay.
I don't know anything about hockey. I know there's a puck and a goal.
And it's not 4 pounds, is what Jay thought.
I think it was 6, right?
Oh, yes, 6.
Yeah.
It's 3/4 of a pound.
I've heard that they're extremely fun in person to go again.
yeah.
So I would like to maybe go a Preds game or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that would be
Check it off the list.
Definitely. And like David talks about, I think once you go to your first in-person game and then you see it and understand it, then you're hooked.
Okay.
And playoff hockey is just, the playoffs this year have been fantastic. They've been aggressive. They've been awesome, and some really good finishes. And with my team not being in it, it kind of makes it not as stressful. That's for sure. All right. So we, after the 3 NHL games, I had 2, you and David each had 1. Then we moved on to the NBA side of things, and those finals are set after last night. Let me pull up because we go back all the way till Friday when we started these games. All right, so Friday we had the Knicks and the Pacers. At that time, the Knicks were up 3-2. David was the only one that took his Pacers, and obviously they won that game at home to force a Game 7, which happened yesterday, which was not another one of our picks. Were you surprised at all of how dominant the Pacers were yesterday? The Knicks had they've been dealing with some injuries, but MSG, I was shocked that they got up as big as they did and they just cruised. Their defense looked fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, because even when we were making the picks, I felt like when the Knicks ended up winning Game 5, I felt like they kind of took control of the series, and then the Pacers bounced back in Game 6. But for them to be at MSG and Anunoby comes back, it would have been interesting had Jalen Brunson not fractured his hand or his wrist or whatever. But yeah, definitely surprised. And you saw early on with how well they were shooting from the field. I think their first 12 shots, they made 11 of those. So it was something I wasn't expecting, but we'll see how they end up matching up against Boston. I think that's a tough task for the 6th seed to be taking on the 1 seed, but hey, that's why we play the game.
That's it. Hey, you never know. You never know. Speaking of that game yesterday, there was a record set. Was it highest field goal percentage? I've got it right here somewhere. It's highest field goal percentage in a playoff game by a single team, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull that up really quick.
I think they had a few records.
I think they had 2 quarters where they shot over 75%, and then they also had, I think it was a record for the first time a team has ever shot. I had it right here. It's driving me crazy.
67.1% from the field.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's what you guys need to do tonight,
Yeah,
Jay.
you got that right. And that was Knicks or Pacers?
That was the Pacers.
Pacers.
Because if the Knicks were shooting that, they might have won the game.
Probably had a better chance of winning that one, that's for sure.
The ball movement was on point, though. It was nice. Hey, Tyrese Halliburton really didn't even score that much either, so it was a team effort. They also had like the most points for, I think there was 4 or 5 players that had 16 plus points, which is absolutely impressive when you're sharing the ball like that. So that's the game plan that they're going to have
absolutely
to take down Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the Boston Celtics.
Absolutely. And the 2 other games we had on the NBA side, this was from the Saturday night when the Mavericks clinched the series. They won 117-116 in a close one there, Jay. We both picked the Mavs, and David took the OKC Thunder to force that Game 7, and they were a foul 3-pointer at the end of that game away from winning that one. But that was one of those, that was clearly a foul, and you had to call that. And, he made the free throws, and they won the game.
Nice.
Yeah, we went from looking like OKC, Minnesota to maybe Dallas and Denver to Minnesota and Dallas. So I think that'll be a fun Western Conference final that I wouldn't have pegged before the season. And I would have never in a million years at the beginning of the season, if you would have said the Pacers are going to be even in the second round of the playoffs, let alone the Eastern Conference Finals, I would have said you're out of your mind. But let's ride with it.
Hey, here we are. And then the last NBA game we had was the game yesterday as well, where the Minnesota Timberwolves took down the Denver Nuggets 98-90. Jay, you put the T-Wolves in that one, so you did pretty well. You were 50% on the NHL and the NBA, where I got 3 and David got 2. But what's kind of crazy, you don't know this, I know that already, but Anthony Edwards didn't really have a great game. He only scored 16 points last night, but the Denver Nuggets were up by 20 points at one point, and they were leading by 15 points at halftime. Everybody thought, they were out, they were done, but Minnesota shifted some defense. They put Karl Anthony Towns and Naz Reid to guard Nikola Jokic, and it ended up working pretty well. The defense clamped down. The T-Wolves held the Nuggets to only 14 points in the third quarter, and especially Reid, he really stepped up offensively, and I think that was the largest comeback in the 15-point halftime comeback is the largest comeback in NBA Game 7 history. Wow. So the defending champs are out. We're down to 4.
So we got the T-Wolves
playing the
Nuggets.
No,
they just beat. T-Wolves.
I was rooting for you on that.
Took a break. Took a break for a second. Yeah, thank you. I got somebody rooting for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do.
T-Wolves
and you let
Boston.
T-Wolves
and Mavs.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Western. Those 16 states you've been to.
He just manifesting the championship.
There you go. Hey, there you go. Yeah. And then who's on the Eastern side?
But I think the geographic thing is totally going away. Obviously, like it doesn't matter anymore. If you're West, you're East, you're West, whatever. It doesn't matter.
What's changed that?
Yeah, what has changed that?
What's changed? I missed that. If that came out,
SEC, Southeastern.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Well, we just went from talking about the NBA and who's in the Eastern Conference Finals to the SEC non-divisions. There's no divisions in the SEC anymore. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when the SEC changes things, that
means everything.
Everything.
Right? SEC, everything else.
The lines are intermingled now.
Yep.
Yes, but on the Eastern Conference side of things, who's in the finals? Boston, absolutely.
And
last and only number 1 seed.
Indiana?
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at you. I mean, we literally did just talk about it, but that's okay.
I'm sick.
You got a good excuse, brother.
Yeah, what about all the other times?
It's Jayisms.
Don't ever take Alka-Seltzer thinking it's daytime and it's nighttime. Yeah, there you go.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
So you're tired as all get out right now. Your brain's just foggy as all get out.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have a counteraction and then flip it the other way.
Right.
You're going to fall asleep at the game
I was going to say, you better get amped up.
Kids come over to the bench. Coach?
I'm just resting my eyes.
There you go. Full circle. All right. We did the Preakness pick, of course. We did talk about that briefly, but Preakness was a fun and exciting race, just like Alan talked about on Friday. It's a sprinter's race, and Seize the Gray got out to an early start and never looked back. Seize the Gray ended up winning. Second place was Mystic Dan, and then third place was Catching Freedom. But you did take Mystic Dan. He took Just Steel. I took Catching Freedom. So you stole the horse one as well, Jay. And then on the golf side, we all picked one player right before the kind of as I think the second round was starting when we made those picks. But I took Hubbard. Obviously, he kind of fell apart. Scotty Scheffler up until that third round was playing really well. And you took Colin Morikawa. So Morikawa, I think, ended up being 14 or 15 under par, a few strokes better than Scotty, even though Scotty shot a nice 65 on Sunday.
I thought Scotty was a lock to finish number 1, but just didn't work out for him.
It's the conspiracies.
It is.
I agree. And Ted Scott wasn't. I mean, it's all.
It just wasn't in the cards.
All the stars are lining up. That's for sure.
That was a fun tournament.
Oh, it was awesome.
The course wasn't playing any defense.
Nope.
But that was a fun tournament just to see. I watched a ton of it, to be quite honest.
Well, it's when it's close and exciting.
Exactly.
And we were talking about at the beginning of the show, I think having a guy like Bryson in there that's fist pumping and fired up, and they think he was faking it.
And Liv, too.
He was.
Yeah.
And the Liv aspect is huge. At least for me, when I'm watching that, it's kind of like, get him.
Yeah.
Get them PGA.
PGA punks.
Yeah, them PGA
it's just
punks.
good to see people pushing and it wasn't where people just fell off and then Colin Morikawa, or excuse me, Xander Schauffele won. He had to earn that victory, and he was pushed by, not by his playing partner, but by DeChambeau and Hovland all day long.
Did you want to see that putt fall, or did you want to see a playoff?
I want to see a playoff. Just like she said in the beginning, extra golf's always good. Playoffs are always good. And PGA is different because it's a 3-hole aggregate. So it's not sudden death. They're playing 3 holes, and the score is you're even to start, and then you just keep going until someone's out.
Ryan.
Jay learned about aggregate not too long ago because of soccer.
I did.
See, you should have known about aggregate already.
All right, quiz. You can't look at your laptop.
I just looked.
Spell Schauffele without
SCHAUFFLE.
Oh, so close.
That's not
EL?
ELE.
ELE?
Shuffle.
ELE.
ELE?
Yeah.
Dang.
I Googled it a couple times.
I would have gotten that wrong too.
Yeah, it just felt like Ellie at the end.
You were so close.
I felt close. I felt like I had it right, actually. I mean, I typed that name a bunch this weekend.
I would have spelled Xander with a Z.
Yeah. Like
X-Man.
Zoolander.
Right.
Yeah, the X-Man.
The X-Man. Hey.
I like their team logo. These notices.
Yeah.
Those are cool. I'm not a live golfer person. But
Right. Is that Aces?
I have no idea.
I think he's
the Skull Crushers.
or the boat. Yeah,
There we go. That sounds.
But he also has his own logo too, the Bryson DeChambeau, because like you guys were talking about, he does all that other off the course stuff to try to keep. Oh, did you guys see when he threw a ball to a boy and the older guy intercepted it and then tried to run off with it, and Bryson stopped walking, went back, and made sure that kid got the ball.
Let's go.
I thought that was pretty cool. And come on, man.
I know.
Like, what kind of character do you have if you do anything in front of a kid at any professional tournament?
No kidding.
That's like
Just hustling, man. Don't blame
That's
him.
true.
Good for them catching that on television.
I
hope
know.
he gets.
I didn't see this
Hassled for
either.
that.
I know we only have like a minute left, Jay, but did you see? I did not see this, and I might have just. Apparently, I watched another video where there was a guy that walked out onto number 18 and like got low and like took a picture or something behind Xander's ball. Did you see that going around social media this morning? And CBS didn't say a word about it. I'll have to find it in the break because we got to take one. But yeah, well. I won't see you tomorrow. Have fun with Max.
Yeah,
and,
congratulations to Ryan and Liam with their
little awards day.
yeah.
And of course, it's right at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But can't miss that. That's for sure. But have a good rest of your afternoon, Jay. We appreciate you. And I hope you feel better. And good luck tonight in the semifinal game.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. You're listening to The Inside Drive. One more segment to go on this beautiful Monday afternoon.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Referees, they said it's a fact and it's a proven fact that you get more calls at home.
Any coach complaining about the officiating over the weekend? Felt like that's what everybody was doing prior to the weekend. Rick Carlisle, okay? Now, if I'm Rick Carlisle, like, don't stop. Like you won, don't stop.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you celebrate the graduate in your life. What better way to celebrate this moment in time than with an exquisite timepiece? We have a large selection of Bulova and Caravelle watches, now 15% off. Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the perfect personalized gifts, from diamond initial pendants and rings to monogram pieces they'll cherish for a lifetime. All on sale today for 30% off. Commemorate your graduate today and show them how proud you are with a gift from Tracy's Fine Jewelry on the corner of 15th Street and East Avenue in Cedar Grove.
You owe the IRS back taxes, and dealing with the IRS stresses you out. Fortunately, IRS Problem Relief can help you resolve back taxes and represent you to the IRS so you don't have to face them alone. Last year, IRS Problem Relief saved clients drowning in tax debt. And IRS Problem Relief is a local company right here in Panama City, not some 800 number where you can never talk to the same person twice. Put those problems behind you so you can focus on moving forward. Call Edward Corey with IRS Problem Relief, 850-784-8176. For a free consultation, call Edward Corey with IRS Problem Relief. It's 850-784-8176 or visit irsproblemrelief.com.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can also watch and listen on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Laura, we appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Thank y'all for letting me
we had a
come in.
little chaotic start there, but we settled down and got into it. That is for sure. There's some NHL game coming up tonight, but since we have you in studio, I know you're Alabama. you Alabama football, baseball, all that stuff, but you got a new coach this year, and you've been Alabama for probably forever, or as long as you've been kind of watching sports.
My dad's from Alabama. He's a huge Alabama, so I grew up. Didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, no, that's how it works. That's for sure. So I want to get your thoughts. We haven't really dove into this too much because we've been covering all this other stuff. But Kalen DeBoer's first season, they still got a ton of great players. He's got his coaching staff in there. You're still recruiting at a high level, still in that top tier. It's a new year, kind of on so many different things. SEC divisions are going away. All these other teams are moving around. What are your realistic expectations for this season coming up? Because you've been with Nick Saban for what seems like forever.
I know. I graduated, 06 that spring, and then here comes Saban in the fall. So I unfortunately didn't get to experience what a lot of what they call them trust fund fans now have.
I like that.
But actually, I had this conversation yesterday at the island with a Georgia fan. We got into football, of course.
Of course.
But I don't know what to expect. I mean, we'll see. Probably the third game in, we play Wisconsin at Wisconsin. So we'll kind of, I guess, know what we're dealing with at that point a little bit. And do I expect them to be good? But everyone's schedule is insane.
The SEC with the divisions going away, bringing in Oklahoma and Texas, there's no easy and poor Florida. I mean, their schedule.
They got a nice recruiting class.
They do have a great recruiting class for now.
For now.
But it's going to be tough. But are you I think I already know the answer to this, but a realistic where, look, if you go 9-3 or maybe even 8-4, anything better than that is a good. And a lot of people they would grill Saban these last couple of years because you didn't win a national championship.
Right. Well, and I think this year too, good for him that the playoff has opened up some, so you can lose a game or two and not be just your season's completely done at that point.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, if we don't lose more than 2 or 3 games, I think that's with the. I mean, we played Georgia. I can't remember if we have them at home or not, but
it's at the house. It's in Tuscaloosa.
Okay,
6:30 too. It's going to be under the lights.
Oh, nice. So I mean, we'll see. I do not envy the man. I mean, I envy what he's getting paid, of course, but that's trying to follow that up. Good luck. I mean, from what I've seen, I like the way kind of has portrayed everything. He seems like he's going to be good. So we'll see. But following up Nick Saban.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's some guy that's never won a conference championship or played in the playoff and had success. It's a guy that knows how to win. He knows how to bring a team together, and he's somebody has to fill those footsteps. And I think a guy like Kalen DeBoer maybe has a little more leeway than some of the other coaches that maybe would have came in there. That I'll use Jimbo Fisher when he was at Texas A&M for an example. He goes in, he's expected. You got to win, and you got to win now, and you got to win a lot. And I'm surprised he survived as long as he did. I'm pretty sure it's probably just because of the buyout. But I think there's just so many changes in college football coming up this year as well that you got several new coaches in there, and just people.
But not to throw shade at my own team and fans, but 90% of Alabama fans are gonna just cream the guy if we don't. So I just hope they give him time. Like you said, I think they made a good pick. He's got a good recruiting class. Everybody just take a deep breath.
That's it. And wait till you start playing football.
But I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the fan base kind of whittles down. As you mentioned, the trust fund fans.
They don't remember
that's
what he always says. He's like, before Saban,
my Alabama highlight growing up before Saban was Texas Tech against the Cotton Bowl when Jamie Christensen kicked the little knuckleball and we won the Cotton Bowl.
I was at that game.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that was like my highlight. I remember it's like each year, we're playing Ole Miss and the game's like 9-6.
Yep.
So that's what I grew up on. So it's been nice, and I'm right there with you. Just give the man a little bit of time. If we go 8-4 in year 1, then maybe year 2 gets better. If not, everybody's got to come back to reality for a little bit.
And the SEC's just going to sit and beat up on each other.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now. I think I know we play Oklahoma. I can't remember if we play Texas.
Yeah,
we do. Texas this year.
No Texas. Okay,
we've got
good.
Oklahoma right before the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, so your schedule, you open up with Western Kentucky at home, and then you have South Florida at home. That's no picnic. And then your first big test is Wisconsin on the road. They'll jump around going into that fourth quarter. And then that's followed up with bringing the Bulldogs into Tuscaloosa and Bryant-Denny Stadium. Then you get a little break playing Vandy, but then you go right back into it, bringing South Carolina in, then on the road at Rocky Top, Missouri coming to Tuscaloosa, then you get a bye week, then you're going to Death Valley to play LSU. You get a nice little bye week, quote unquote, against Mercer at home, and then you go on the road against Oklahoma, and then finish up the season against Auburn in Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl. Tough schedule.
Everybody buckle up.
Yeah, we're going to need to buckle up.
Well, and
it looks, if you're going off of last year, like if Saban's still here and you're looking at the schedule, you're like, this is, we can handle this. And now, just because Saban's gone, which most of the team is still intact, it's like, I don't know what to think. I don't know how we're going to fare against these guys. LSU, I don't think they're going to be as good as what they were last year.
Yeah, you got to look at that too. Yeah.
Oklahoma, everything's kind of changed for them. Brent Venables did a great job in year 2 for them. Auburn, does Hugh Freeze got them kind of where they need to be? I think as long as it's Peyton Thorne there, no, he doesn't. South Carolina, no Spencer Rattler. Vanderbilt, that's academics there. Tennessee.
Academics, golf, and baseball.
You're an academic school.
Exactly. So, if you could get through those first 4 games and your first loss be to Georgia, I think the hype is going to be real for them. But that, again, it's just hype.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got Milroe. I mean, I think he came along through the season, so hopefully this year he'll be even better. We'll see.
Well, that's a good point, too. I mean, LSU's not LSU from last year. Georgia, pretty much minus a few offensive weapons. Still, whenever your starting quarterback that was good is returning, that's always a good thing. I mean, South Carolina, who really knows at all what they got? Tennessee, they've got a lot of people back. I mean, they're got this. Is it still the same quarterback?
No, Joe Milton.
He went. Yeah, that's right. He got drafted.
He's got one of those names I'm going to have to work on.
Yeah. I forget that. But I mean, and I think Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, is either Tyler Van Dyke or Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard might have went to Notre Dame. But
he did.
Miami's quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, might be the starting quarterback at
they
Wisconsin.
haven't necessarily been relevant in winning, but
it's
they'll be hyped up.
And it's on the road.
Yeah.
It's at Wisconsin. You guys are coming into town. It is an 11 a.m. kickoff, so it's that dreaded Coach Hale 11 o'clock kickoff for sure. But it's Wisconsin. It's the Badgers up there. You never know what's going to happen.
I do like the jump around. I think that's really cool.
That is cool.
That and the, is it West Virginia that runs out to the Metallica?
No, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Interesting, man. Yep.
That'll give you chills.
There's a really good. It's either a 30 for 30 or an E60 on Jump Around and how it came to be.
I think I've seen that.
It's so awesome. And they just came up. Basically, we're sitting in a bar and it came on over the bar, and because they were trying to come up with ways to get the fans more engaged. So they were all sitting around at a bar, and that song came on. They're like, well, let's play this before and the rest was history.
That's one of Austin's pump up songs.
Yes. Hey, shoot. It's the songs were so much better back then.
Agreed.
Oh, man. But speaking of Alabama, and a quick softball update, the regionals are over and the super regionals will get underway here later this week. But from the Knoxville regional, you had Tennessee. They were the number 3 national seed. They advanced to play Alabama out of the Tuscaloosa regional. They were the number 1 seed in that regional. So they'll play each other in the super regional, and that'll be hosted by Tennessee. Georgia advanced out of the Athens regional. They'll take on UCLA, who advanced out of the Los Angeles regional. So the Missouri Tigers will play Duke. Missouri came out of their regional. Duke came out of their regional. And then Florida State beat Auburn yesterday to advance out of their regional to take on Oklahoma out of the Norman regional. You only had 2 non-number 1 seeds from their particular regional advance to the super regionals. Usually have a little more parity than that. But number 1 seed in the country, Texas, advanced out of the Austin regional to play Texas A&M, who advanced out of the College Station regional. LSU LSU out of the Baton Rouge Regional will play Stanford. Oklahoma will advance to play Arizona, who defeated Arkansas, who Arkansas was the host of the Fayetteville Regional. Arizona is one out of 2 teams to advance. They'll take on number 5 national seed Oklahoma, and then Baylor advanced out of the Lafayette Regional. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns were the number 1 seed in that, and then the Florida Gators advanced out of the Gainesville Regional. So you've got 8 super regional games going on. The Women's College World Series will get underway shortly after that. On the baseball side of things, all the conference tournaments set to get underway. A few of them have gotten underway already, but the majority of them get started either tomorrow or the 22nd. The SEC will be played tomorrow through the 26th, an automatic bid into the NCAA regional tournament for each conference champion winner there, but we'll keep you updated as the week goes on. As I mentioned, the NCAA Golf Women's National Championship, their 4th round is set to get underway here soon, with the top 8 teams advancing to the match play. As of right now, Florida State would not, but they did advance to the final round of stroke play, and Lottie Woad is currently number 2 in the individual stroke play tournament, with the winner of that being declared the individual national championship. But she's about 6 strokes behind Adelia Saronsek from Texas A&M, who shot 3 rounds of 68 thus far. That women's golf is pretty darn impressive, especially with Nelly Korda winning, I think, 6 out of her last 7 tournaments. But yeah, college golf, everything's kind of winding down.
I know.
School's winding down this week. Not many college sports still going on, and we got a big Game 7 tonight. I know we talked about it briefly, David, but who do you think is going to get this one? This has been a crazy series in Edmonton and Vancouver to see who's going to go play Jay's Dallas Stars. But you already got the Panthers and the Rangers, 2 number 1 seeds from each of their division. Stars were number 1 seed from their side, and the Canucks are the number 1 seed from their side. But Vancouver and the Edmonton Oilers tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPN.
Man, I'll be rooting for Edmonton. I just want to see them continue to go. I like Leon Draisaitl. I mean, the amount of points that he's had and the amount of games that he's played in the playoffs, it's a lot of fun. But there's just something about Vancouver when their back's against the wall. They're going to be at the house tonight as well. I think that Dallas-Vancouver series could possibly be more entertaining because the teams kind of match up a little bit better than what Edmonton does. But I'm going to be rooting for Edmonton tonight, man. So I think they'll take it all tonight and move on. But it, really doesn't matter what I say. It's all about Jay and the Crystal Puck.
That is true. But
Where is Edmonton?
Edmonton Oilers, the province of Alberta.
Huh?
Okay, it's kind of Western Canada. They're actually not that far apart, Edmonton and Vancouver, but both over there on the western side. But hey, there will be 1 Canadian team at least in the conference finals. But all these teams, they have not won in this century. Now, the Stars, the Rangers, and the Oilers have all won a Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars won in 1999. Rangers' last Stanley Cup was 30 years ago in 1994. Edmonton's last Stanley Cup was in 1990. And the Canucks nor the Panthers have never won a Stanley Cup. So if Vancouver advances tonight, the Panthers and the Vancouver Canucks will have one out of, or that's not really a 50% chance, but we have a chance to crown a first-time Stanley Cup champion. So
hey, and then Canadians would love for Edmonton or Vancouver to move on and win the whole thing.
Absolutely. It's been, I think, we say it all the time, I think 93 since the
93-94.
Montreal Canadiens won the last Canadian Stanley Cup, I believe. I know Caveman Rick, if he's listening, he's going to pop it right in there on Facebook, but I know you can find it pretty fast. But I'm looking forward to the Rangers-Panthers series as well. It's two teams just playing great right now. Go ahead, David.
92-93 season.
92-93 Montreal Canadiens. Les Habitants. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's coming down to the wire. Baseball's heating up. Hopefully the Braves can catch the ball when it goes into the outfield. Ronald Acuna. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Right? And it was the third leg of a parlay that I got lucky on the first. And I was like, all right, Bryce Elder's
down.
Oh, man. Bryce Elder just didn't get off to a good start. But, Laura, we appreciate you hanging out with us today. We'll definitely have to do it again sometime soon. You're listening to The Inside Drive. Max Delight will be filling in for me tomorrow. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
ESPN ESPN Northwest Florida. Your home for Mike Greenberg.
I would not have my daughter call me Mike. Right. She calls me Dad.
But your nephew says Uncle Michael.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Are you distinguishing between the Mike and the Michael?
No, I'm saying one's using your first name and one's not.
She calls me Dad.
Of course she calls you Dad.
You want her to call me Father Michael?
Papa Mike. Papa Mike.
What am I, a priest?
Greeny. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your